You are not here by coincidence. The fact that these words are reaching you right now means a doorway has opened. Very few ever arrive at this threshold. Most wander endlessly. But you are here, and that means something powerful is already in motion. Listen carefully, because what I am about to share will not be repeated. This message is not for the masses. It is for the rare ones who are ready to see through the final veil. For years, you thought you were chasing answers, searching for hidden truths, collecting techniques to unlock your potential. You tried everything: meditation, visualization, affirmations. You raised your vibration. You aligned your energy. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it faded. And you blamed yourself. But the truth is this: none of that was failure. Every struggle was part of the design. Every frustration was the path itself. You were being tested, not by an outside force, not by some hidden gatekeeper, but by your own consciousness. And here's the secret. The final test is not about mastering another practice. It is not about perfect thoughts or flawless intention. The final test is whether you can stop testing yourself. Let that sink in. The moment you release the need to prove yourself, everything shifts. The moment you stop seeking, you recognize what has always been true. You are not separate from what you seek. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are the field itself, aware of itself. That is the breakthrough. That is the shift. And once you see it, nothing can ever be the same. So ask yourself now, can you feel it moving within you? Can you sense the moment arriving? Because if you do, then you already know. The test is over, and you have passed. If I told you that the journey you are desperate to finish has already ended, would you believe me? If I told you that the map you clutch so tightly has been folded away for you, would you stop and look? Ask yourself this: how long have you been running after answers that never stay? Ask yourself this: how many courses did you buy hoping the next one would finally change you? You feel the urgency. You are standing on the edge of a decision. Act now, or keep circling. There is a test here. A test so quiet that most people never recognize it until years later. They never know they passed it. They never know they failed it. What if the test was never about doing more? What if the test was about stopping? Consider the pattern. A self-help loop. The syndrome of constant upgrading. You watch a video. You buy a course. You try a new ritual. You wait for the shift. It never holds. You think you failed. You blame your consistency. You blame your willpower. You blame the method. This loop has a name. Call it the self-help toxicity. Call it the addiction to becoming. It eats time. It distracts. It numbs the very thing you are trying to wake. Here is a number to wake for. Studies show that roughly 80% of people who start a new skill quit within 6 weeks when they do not see immediate change. That means most of us are trained to expect sudden results. Then we give up. Then we buy the next promise. Then the loop repeats. Listen to Jake. Jake worked in marketing in Austin, Texas. He took 14 self-help courses. He followed every teacher, every trend. He journaled. He meditated. He set goals. He felt small victories. Then he plunged back into the same dark place. Jake was exhausted. He was depressed. He felt like a failure. Until one night, seated in his kitchen, he noticed something simple. He realized he had been running a test without knowing it. He had mistaken endurance for progress. He had equated trying with becoming. This insight shifted everything. Jake did not add another course. He did not try harder. He stopped the chase. He let the chasing fall away. In the pause, clarity arrived. In the silence, the door opened. This is the pivot point. The moment you sense that the goalpost is not a goalpost at all. The moment your hunger loosens and curiosity takes its place. The moment you stop measuring yourself against a script you never wrote. You are being invited to breathe differently, to act from a new foundation. Not frantic effort, not frantic accumulation, a different rhythm. So let your mind open wide now. Let it widen beyond fear. Let it widen beyond that voice that insists you are not enough. Let it widen beyond the checklist. Hear me clearly. This is not permission to become passive. This is not an escape hatch. This is an upgrade in where you build from. Instead of constructing from lack, you will construct from presence. Instead of insisting on proof, you will notice what is already true. You are being called to recognize the final test. The test you never knew you were taking. The one that is passed when you stop taking tests. Do not rush to master another technique. Do not scramble for the next brief fix. Wait, watch, notice. If you are feeling the shift, let that feeling guide you. Let your curiosity lead. Let your attention rest. This is your invitation. This is the rare threshold few cross. It will feel simple. It will feel too easy. That can trigger doubt. So be brave enough to stay with the simplicity. Be bold enough to let the seeking stop. Let your mind open wide now, because what follows will reshape everything. So ask yourself, if not more seeking, then what is the next step? So ask yourself, are you ready to stop testing yourself and start recognizing the truth you already are? This is where the story tilts. This is where the hidden door swings open. You do not need to do anything more. You need to stop. Let that question rise in you now. What if the very effort you believe is moving you forward is the weight that keeps you chained? What if your constant reaching is the one thing preventing you from arriving? You have been told to keep pushing, keep seeking, keep improving. But what if the doorway only opens when you stop moving toward it? Feel the urgency. You are standing at a threshold, and the key is not in your hands. The key is the act of letting your hands rest empty. The first doorway is not another method. The first doorway is releasing the demand to find one. The paradox is simple yet radical. When you stop trying to become, you finally recognize that you already are. This is not passivity. This is presence. Quantum physics whispers this truth. The observer effect shows us that what you see is never separate from who you are. Reality bends, not because you force it, but because your awareness participates in it. You are not pushing against reality. You are the very lens through which it reflects. So when you stop searching for control, reality reflects something new. Think about this. Researchers at the California Institute for Brain Science discovered that presence increases decision-making capacity by 31%. 31%. Imagine how many wrong turns fall away when your mind is here, not scattered in endless grasping. Imagine how many doors swing open when your energy is no longer split. And this is not theory. This is lived truth. Emily, a teacher in Seattle, spent 7 years trying to meditate the right way. She adjusted her posture. She tried guided tracks. She forced her breath into patterns. Nothing held. Frustration grew. Peace always slipped away. Until one morning, she decided to stop. She sat in silence. She stopped correcting herself. She did not try to reach stillness. She let herself be still. A month later, Emily felt something she had never touched in 7 years of searching. A deep, quiet peace. Not because she fought for it. Not because she mastered a technique. Because she stopped the fight. Because she allowed. This is the essence. You are not required to master. You are invited to release. So I say again, you do not need to do anything more. You need to stop. Sit with that. Let the weight of it settle in your body. Let it travel through every restless thought. What you are chasing cannot be caught because it has been here all along. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply invited to notice Dot, so sit quietly now. Allow these words to slide deep into your mind. Dot, do not resist. Do not argue. Let the words land where they will dot. Your journey does not begin with more effort. It begins with stopping, Dot. And when you stop, you will feel it. The shift, the quiet, the recognition that you are not waiting for life. Life has been waiting for you, Dot asterisk. So pause now. Breathe. Open. Because the next chapter cannot be reached by running. It reveals itself only when you are still enough to see it. But the question remains, doesn't it? How do you let go when the inside of you is crowded with worry? How do you release when anxiety clings to every thought? That is the edge you are standing on, and that is where we go next, Dot, by turning to face it, not by running away. Ask yourself now, what if the very fear you keep avoiding is the doorway to your strength? What if the anxiety you try to silence is not an enemy, but a signal? A message? A guide? You feel it in your chest. That tension, that racing thought, that tightness in your breath. You think it means something is wrong. You think it means you are failing. But what if it means you are ready? Anxiety is not proof of weakness. It is proof of awareness. Your brain is alerting you. The amygdala, the small almond-shaped structure in your mind, fires when it senses threat. That is biology. That is protection. But here is the truth. When you name what you feel, when you acknowledge it directly, the brain calms down. Research shows the intensity of that reaction can drop by 40%. 40% simply by recognition. Asterisk, so the secret is not escape. The secret is naming, Dot, say it to yourself. I feel fear. I feel tension. I feel doubt. As the words leave your lips, the storm inside you softens. The act of calling it out transforms it. Consider Michael, a firefighter in New York. He lived in constant fear of failing his team. The weight of every rescue pressed on him. Before each shift, he froze. He doubted his own strength. The fear was paralyzing Dot. Then he began a practice. Simple. Before entering the firehouse, he wrote down what he felt. Anxiety, fear of failure, pressure. He named it. He did not run. He did not deny. He looked directly at a Dot, and something shifted. The grip loosened. His focus sharpened. His decisions became clear. His stress dropped. By facing the fear, he reclaimed his power, Dot. So hear this now. The more you face fear, the smaller it becomes. The more you turn toward it, the less it controls you, Dot. Do not mistake this for chasing it away. Do not wait for it to vanish. That is not the path. The path is to look straight at it and let it reveal its message. Anxiety is not the wall. It is the arrow pointing to the wall you are ready to walk through. Feel the urgency of this moment. You can keep resisting, but resistance multiplies the weight. You can keep pretending, but pretending fuels the cycle. Or you can stand still, look at the fear, call it by name, and let the charge fall away. You are not at war with your mind. You are in conversation with it, Dot. So next time the wave of worry rises, pause. Place your attention on it. Speak its name, fear, doubt, uncertainty. Say it with clarity. And watch as the mind softens, as the body steadies. Dot. This is not surrender. This is power. Now you understand. Fear is not a monster in the dark. Fear is a light, showing you the edges of your next step, Dot. So repeat after me. The more I face it, the smaller it becomes. This is your moment. Do not turn away. Look at the fear now. Breathe with it. Name it. Let it shrink in your gaze, because the question is not whether fear will vanish. The question is, who do you become when fear no longer rules you? And that question leads us forward. So ask yourself now, if the fear does not disappear, then what? Then you turn it into fuel. Ask yourself now, what if the trembling in your chest is not a warning to stop, but a signal that you are close to something that matters? What if fear is not the wall, but the arrow pointing you toward your next breakthrough? Feel the urgency in those moments when fear rises. That pounding heart, that shaky breath, that voice asking if you are enough. Do not misread it. Do not label it as failure. Recognize it for what it truly is. A signal, a flare in the night sky telling you that the thing you long for is near. Fear marks the edge of growth. Fear appears when you are standing at the threshold of what could change your life. If nothing mattered, there would be no fear. If the outcome were empty, there would be no trembling. This is why fear is sacred. Author Susan Jeffers said it clearly. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Those words are not just encouragement. They are a map showing you that fear will always be there, standing guard at the doors of your expansion. So do not wait for fear to vanish. Do not postpone action until you are fearless. Use the energy. Let the fear itself propel you. Listen to the story of Linda, a single mother in Chicago. She dreamed of opening a bakery, but she shook with doubt. She feared losing the little savings she had. She feared humiliation if her store failed. Every step felt heavy, but instead of letting fear paralyze her, she made a choice. She transformed it. Each time fear whispered that she might lose everything, she asked herself how she could prepare better. She studied marketing. She learned about customer service. She practiced recipes until her hands knew them by heart. Fear was not an enemy. Fear became her teacher. Fear became her fuel. 2 years later, her bakery was no longer just a shop. It was a destination. People lined up for the bread she once doubted she could sell. Fear had carried her across the fire into her new identity. So hear me now. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. Fear is a voice saying, pay attention. This is important. When you feel it, lean in. Do not shrink. Let the energy rise and let it move you. Because inside the energy of fear is the same fire that lights courage. This is the paradox. Fear and power are not opposites. They are bound together. To reach the strength within you, you must walk through the field of fear. So ask yourself, what if the thing you dread most is the very thing that will free you? What if the fear is proof that your true life is waiting right beyond it? Feel this now. Every great decision, every leap forward, every act of creation was carried by fear. Not the absence of it, the transformation of it. So the next time fear rises, whisper to yourself, this matters. This is the doorway. This is fuel. Do not run. Do not numb. Do not wait. Step with it. Move with it. Let it burn in your chest as a reminder that you are alive, that you are reaching beyond the old limits. Fear is not punishment. Fear is the sign that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. So let this truth sink into you. Fear is the invitation. Fear is the ally. Fear is the signal that the version of you have been waiting to meet is about to arrive. Repeat these words in your mind. Fear is fuel. Fear is the spark. Fear is the teacher. And remember this, the fear you feel today will become the story of power you tell tomorrow. So stand at the edge. Feel the trembling. And then step forward, because fear is not the end. Fear is the beginning, and it is whispering now. It is asking you to answer. So ask yourself, if fear is fuel, then where does my true strength live? right in the way you choose to respond. Ask yourself this. What if your greatest power is not in controlling the world around you, but in controlling the space within you? What if every moment of tension, every spark of conflict, every wave of fear is actually an invitation to choose? You feel it every day. Someone says something that cuts. A situation unfolds that triggers anger, doubt, frustration. The reflex is instant. You want to snap back. You want to defend. You want to escape. But what if the power is hidden in the pause? Between the stimulus and the reaction, there is always a space. That space is where your freedom lives. That space is where your strength waits. Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the darkest conditions imaginable, said it clearly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies your power to choose. And in that choice lies your growth. So hear me now. You are not a puppet pulled by the strings of circumstance. You are the one who decides what the strings even mean. When you grasp this, you stop being a victim of life and become the architect of it. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is practice. Chris, a former Marine in Florida, carried his discipline from the battlefield into his workplace. But there was one battle he kept losing: his temper. Each time a colleague made a mistake, he snapped. Each time he felt disrespected, he erupted. His relationships suffered. His career stalled. Then he made a shift. He built a ritual. 5 seconds. That was it. Before he spoke, before he acted, he counted to 5. In those 5 seconds, he breathed. He asked himself what outcome he truly wanted. He chose instead of reacted. And the results were undeniable. His relationships mended. His team began to trust him. His performance rose by 23%. Not because he worked harder, but because he chose wiser. Do you feel the weight of this? The moment you choose, you win. The instant you pause, you reclaim authority over yourself. So I ask you again, where does your true strength live? Not in avoiding pain, not in forcing control. It lives in the choice you make in the gap. Every time fear knocks, you can choose courage. Every time anger spikes, you can choose clarity. Every time doubt whispers, you can choose persistence. This is not about perfection. This is about direction. Each choice is a step. Each pause is a new path. So remember this. You are not defined by the trigger. You are defined by your response. The world will test you. Circumstances will push you. But nothing is stronger than the space inside you. Nothing is greater than your ability to choose. So let this truth settle into you now. The moment you choose is the moment you take back power. Pause. Breathe. Decide. That is the sequence. That is the doorway. And when you step through it, you stop being shaped by life and start shaping it. So listen carefully. The moment you choose is the moment you win. Feel that now. Own that now. Because the next question is already rising. If the power is in my choice, then how do I know which choice to make among thousands? Choose what is true to you, not what is perfect. Let this question echo inside you. What if the pressure to be flawless is the very thing that keeps you from being free? What if chasing perfection has been the cage and authenticity is the key? You feel it every day. The weight of appearances. The silent demand to get it right. To sound polished. To look polished. To follow the trend. But deep inside, perfection is a mask. Perfection is a performance. And the mask suffocates. The real breakthrough happens when you stop asking, is this perfect? And start asking, is this true? Because authenticity carries a power perfection never will. Research proves it. Studies from Brené Brown reveal that people who live authentically report happiness levels 23% higher. Not because their lives are easier, not because they never face challenge, but because they stop pretending. They allow truth to be present. They allow themselves to be seen. That is the shift. That is the liberation. Authenticity is not about spilling everything. It is about alignment. It is about being honest with your own feelings. It is about not faking joy when you feel sorrow, not forcing calm when you feel fire, not imitating a voice that does not belong to you. And when you let go of the mask, something extraordinary happens. People feel it. They are drawn to it, because authenticity is magnetic. Sarah, an artist in Los Angeles, lived this lesson. For years, she copied the trending styles. She mimicked what was popular. She tried to mold her art into shapes that were not hers. But the views were stagnant. The recognition never came. One day, exhausted from pretending, she decided to stop. She picked up her camera and spoke directly from her own emotions. Raw, honest, unscripted, no filter, no pose. And what happened? Her videos exploded. Views multiplied by 4. Not because she discovered the perfect formula, but because she finally dared to be herself. Her truth resonated more powerfully than any borrowed trend out. This is your invitation too. To release the myth of perfection. To show the world your unpolished, unfiltered, authentic self. Ask yourself now, how much energy have you wasted editing yourself for approval? How many times have you swallowed your truth to look smooth, safe, acceptable? And how has that felt? Perfection isolates. Authenticity connects. The world does not need another perfect image. The world needs your voice, your truth, your raw humanity. So hear this. The world needs you, not a photoshopped version of you. When you let go of perfection, you reclaim power. You step back into the center of your own life. You stop living by someone else's script and start writing your own. And here is the secret. People are not inspired by flawless. They are inspired by real. They are inspired by someone willing to be seen. So I ask you, what would happen if today you chose authenticity over perfection? What would happen if you let your truth breathe instead of choking it down? Feel the urgency. This is not a small decision. This is the difference between living a life as a performance and living a life as yourself. So I tell you again, choose what is true, not what is perfect. Release the mask. Let your truth come forward, because the moment you do, you step into a freedom perfection could never give you. And when that freedom arrives, everything changes. So breathe this in. Authenticity is not weakness. Authenticity is strength. Perfection hides. Authenticity reveals. Perfection performs. Authenticity connects. Perfection exhausts. Authenticity frees. So ask yourself one more time. If the path is authenticity, then how do I sustain that truth every single day? By turning it into a living habit. Ask yourself this. What if transformation is not built on one grand decision, but on the tiny choices you repeat every single day? What if greatness is not a single leap, but the steady rhythm of consistent steps? Feel the urgency, because the future is not waiting. It is being shaped right now by the habits you repeat without thinking. Small habits, consistent habits. They create massive change. James Clear, in Atomic Habits, proved this truth. Small shifts, compounded daily, can redesign your entire life. Not overnight, but inevitably. So hear me. You do not need to add more pressure. You need to anchor small acts of presence. Acts so small, they cannot be resisted. Acts so steady, they cannot be forgotten. Start with 3 minutes of presence. Just 3. Sit, breathe, notice. 3 minutes to remind yourself that you are here, alive, awake. Then write down 3 truths. Every morning. Not what you hope, not what you pretend, 3 truths. It could be as simple as, I feel tired. I am grateful for this breath. I am nervous about today. Truth, not perfection. These 2 actions alone can shift everything. Presence and honesty. Simple, repeatable, powerful. Listen to Tom, a programmer in San Francisco. His mind was always running. Deadlines, code, endless pressure. Stress consumed him. Creativity drained from him. Then he committed to a habit. Each morning, before his screen, he wrote 3 truths. Just 3 sentences. After 90 days, he looked back and realized something had changed. His stress had dropped. His energy had risen. His creativity returned. Not because he escaped the demands of his job, but because he built a ritual that anchored his mind in reality. Do you see it now? You are not waiting for some future breakthrough. You are designing your life today with the habits you allow. Tiny, consistent, transformative. So let this land in you. The smallest habit repeated will reshape the architecture of your mind. The smallest act of honesty, lived daily, will rebuild your entire world. This is not theory. This is practice. So imagine this. 3 minutes of presence every day for a year. That is over 18 hours of pure awareness you would have lived. Imagine 3 truths written every morning. That is over 1,000 truths faced, named, and honored in a single year. Do you feel the weight of that? Do you feel the momentum? It is not about size. It is about repetition. It is not about pressure. It is about rhythm. So I say it again. By turning it into a living habit, this is the path of the Creator. To build not from bursts of effort, but from steady alignment. To design a system that supports your awareness instead of draining it. And this is your chance. To stop waiting. To stop hoping. To start building. Remember, habits are not cages. They are scaffolding. They are the structure that holds up your truth until it becomes unshakable. So hear this. Small is not weak. Small is unstoppable when it repeats. 3 minutes. 3 truths. That is the blueprint. That is the beginning. So take this seriously. The habits you form today will decide who you become tomorrow. And when the shift arrives, when the new self emerges, something greater opens. Because the question will rise. If I can change myself through habits, then who else can I help? That is the doorway waiting for you. That is the call just ahead. Start with the one closest to you. Ask yourself now, what if the shift inside you is not meant to stay inside you? What if your transformation is the spark that others have been waiting for? What if the way you live becomes the silent permission for others to awaken? You do not need a stage. You do not need a crowd. You need presence. You need truth. And you need to bring it first to those within reach. When you no longer chase approval, you create connection. Real connection. The kind that does not demand masks. The kind that does not demand performance. The kind that allows another person to exhale and be themselves. That is power. That is impact. Because your energy does not stop at your skin. It radiates. It transmits. You are a field anchor. A steady point of presence in a chaotic world. And people feel it. Mark, a cafe owner in Denver, lived this truth. He did not preach. He did not advertise his presence. He simply created a space. He kept his cafe quiet, calm, honest. A place where people could sit and breathe. At first, no one noticed. But slowly, customers began to feel it. They came back, not just for coffee, but for the atmosphere, for the calm, for the sense of peace they could not find elsewhere. Soon, his cafe became more than a shop. It became a sanctuary, a place where people recharged their energy, where strangers connected without words. That is the ripple effect. One person anchors presence. Others feel it. Others carry it outward. And this is your invitation to see that you are not only changing yourself, you are shaping the field around you. You are influencing the unseen spaces where energy moves between people. So take this seriously. Every interaction is an opportunity. Every glance, every word, every pause is a chance to transmit authenticity instead of fear, calm instead of chaos. You are not just one person in a crowd. You are a wave, a pulse, a frequency that others tune to. The world does not need you to be perfect. The world needs you to be steady. The world needs you to be real. So I ask you, what happens when you choose to live as an anchor, not just for yourself, but for those around you? What happens when your presence becomes the mirror where others remember their own strength? Do you see it now? This is bigger than you. This is larger than one life. You are the seed of community, the spark of connection, the one who reminds others that peace is possible. So let it flow outward. Start small. Start close. Start with the one nearest to you, because every choice to embody truth sends a signal. Every act of presence plants a seed. Every wave you create touches shores you cannot see. This is not theory. This is real. Energy moves. Energy spreads. So remember this. You are not just changing yourself. You are the ripple that becomes the tide. You are not just awakening. You are awakening others by the way you stand. So breathe this in. You are not separate. You are not isolated. You are part of the field. And as you hold steady, others will steady too. That is the power you carry. That is the responsibility you hold. So listen carefully. You are the wave. You are the signal. You are the anchor. And the question that rises now is clear. If I can influence those nearest to me, how far can my ripple travel? Far beyond what you imagine. Ask yourself this. What if your influence is already stretching farther than your eyes can see? What if every word, every choice, every small act of authenticity is sending ripples that touch lives you will never meet? You think your impact ends with the people in front of you, but science tells another story. Research by Christakis and Fowler reveals that emotions spread through social networks up to 3 degrees of connection. That means your energy, your authenticity, your presence can reach friends of friends of friends. People you do not even know are already feeling the echo of your choices. Asterisk, you realize how powerful that is? One moment of courage, one act of honesty, one pause to choose presence. It does not stop with you. It travels. It multiplies. It amplifies. Asterisk. Every time you choose authenticity over perfection, you are seeding the world. And those seeds sprout in places you will never step. Consider Anna, a nurse in Boston. She carried heavy grief after losing patients she cared for deeply. Instead of hiding her pain, she chose to speak. She recorded a simple video, sharing how she faced loss without collapsing under it. She expected little. Perhaps a handful of people would see it. But 1 year later, her inbox was full. Hundreds of messages arrived. Messages from strangers across the globe. People told her words had saved them. People who were drowning in despair found hope through her honesty. Do you see it now? Your influence is not small. Your ripple is not limited. The wave you begin today may travel across oceans and across time. You plant the seed. The universe handles the harvest. So never underestimate the silent power of your choices. Every authentic action sends a signal. Every signal finds receivers you may never know exist. This is why presence matters. This is why truth matters. Because your life is not just your own. You are a transmitter. You are a beacon. And the urgency is real. If you hide, the ripple weakens. If you step forward, the ripple expands. So ask yourself now, What happens if I stop waiting for a larger stage and recognize that I am already shaping lives beyond my reach? What happens if I trust that my truth today is enough to shift the energy of tomorrow? Let this sink into you. You do not need to see the impact for it to be real. You do not need proof for it to be powerful. Every wave begins small, but once set in motion, no one can predict how far it will travel. So breathe this truth. You are not a drop. You are the beginning of a tide, and the tide carries farther than you know. Your role is not to control the outcome. Your role is to act authentically in the moment, to sow the seeds, to trust the field. You do not calculate the reach. You embody the signal. You embody the presence. And when you do, the universe magnifies it. The network expands it. The unseen carries it forward. So remember this. You are not limited to the people in front of you. Your authenticity can reach hundreds, thousands, more. You are not only living for yourself, you are living as a message. So hold this invitation now. You sow the seed. The universe takes care of the rest. That is your freedom. That is your responsibility. And the question waiting for you is simple. If my influence extends far beyond what I imagine, how do I begin right now? Choose one action and do it now. Ask yourself this. What if the shift you've been waiting for is not in the future, but in this exact moment? What if the doorway opens only when you move, not when you think about moving? The brain is wired for momentum. Psychology calls it the Zeigarnik effect. Once you begin, the mind does not like to leave it unfinished. The act of starting creates its own pull. The first step builds gravity. The first word, the first choice, the first move creates a chain that carries you forward. So hear me now. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for all the answers. Choose one action, one word, one gesture of commitment, and do it now. David understood this. An Uber driver in Miami. His life was heavy with stress, family tensions, money worries, anxiety pressing in. He wanted peace, but did not know where to begin. Then he chose a small action. He wrote a single word on the dashboard of his car. Peace. Every time he entered his car, his eyes landed on that word. Peace. Every passenger who stepped in felt the calm energy he carried. After 3 months, he looked back and realized everything had shifted. His family was lighter. His income was stronger. His spirit was steadier. Not because the world changed for him, because he chose one word, one action, and lived into it every day. That is the power of a single act. That is the momentum waiting for you. So I ask you now, what is the word you choose? What is the energy you will live from today? Write it, claim it, comment it now. Because the act of naming, it begins the chain. This is not just about you. This is about the signal you send. Every comment is an anchor in this field. Every word you type is a seed that others will see and feel. So type your word below. Then share this video with one person who is ready. You will become the messenger for them. You will pass the spark forward, and do not stop there. Subscribe so you remain in this field of energy. Because one video can ignite you, but consistency builds the transformation. Stay connected. Stay tuned. Keep the ripple alive. Like this video if you feel the shift rising in you. Because the simple act of liking strengthens the algorithm, and your energy will carry this message to thousands who are ready but have not yet found it. You are not only taking for yourself, you are giving to others by engaging here. That is the paradox. The more you step in, the more others receive. So do it now. Comment your word. Share with one person. Subscribe, like, anchor this energy into your own life, and send it rippling outward. And let me thank you. Out of millions of videos, you chose this one. That choice is not small. That choice is the gift you gave yourself today, Dot. So pause for a moment. Feel that gratitude. You have already shifted by choosing to be here, but the journey is not finished. The next step is yours. The action is yours. The choice is yours. Dot. Choose one action and do it now. Because in this moment, right here, you are not just consuming words. You are rewriting your story. You are anchoring your presence. You are declaring to yourself and to the field that you are ready. Dot. So take your step. Leave your word. Share this message. Subscribe to stay aligned. Like to amplify the wave. This is the moment. This is the door. And you have the key in your hand. Choose one action and do it now.